Faith doesn't get harder because you're falling off or you're failing. It actually gets heavier because you're getting stronger. You're growing. Faith wasn't meant to be hard. Faith is just sometimes meant to be heavy. But that's normal. In life, life gets heavy. Responsibilities get heavy. The things that you are entrusted with, that God has entrusted you with, they start to get heavy. But it doesn't mean that you're failing at all. It actually probably means that you're growing, you're becoming better, and you're becoming stronger. Right? It's the same thing with childhood versus adulthood. We all think that being a child was easy, right? And it was, because you didn't have responsibilities. You didn't have to worry about nothing. Even when our parents were going through something, you just knew that when you get home, that you expected food to be on the table, right? Whether you knew it was an expectation or not. You expected to have a room. You expected to have clothes. You expected to have all these things. And that's okay. So, but as you get older, you start to learn that you can't lean on your parents as much. You have to begin to follow your own steps, get your own responsibilities, and follow through with yourself. Because now you got responsibilities. Now you got bills. Now you got things to worry about. Now you have other stressors that you weren't worried about as a kid. But that just means that you are growing. It doesn't mean that you're actually failing. It's just the natural things that happen in life, right? Because fewer rules means more responsibility. Now you have now you have less structure and more freedom. That means you have to create your own structure to create more freedom, right? You see how that works? When you have less structure, there's not as much freedom all the time, right? No structure doesn't always mean freedom, but no structure can also mean chaos in a confined space, within a controlled environment. It could be controlled chaos, but it is still chaos. But if you could see that you could create a structure, that means you could actually control the amount of freedom that you have. So freedom, it's carrying the weight though. Freedom is the weight of saying that, yes, you want to make more money, but no one's going to make it for you. So you have to do it yourself. You have to create things yourself. You have to be on the winning end yourself in order to achieve whatever you want to achieve, right? For having that weight, even whenever you want a family, you want a new job, you want to do these things, you want more opportunities to come your way, and you keep trying and trying. Sometimes you don't know what you're asking for. But God is just preparing you for the weight that you are trying to carry. Growth always comes with responsibility. There's no other way. If you want more, you have to do more, right? You have to work more if you want to have more. You can't just have more and want to do less and work less. That's not going to correlate at all. So with growth comes responsibility. So anytime that you know you want to expand in any part of your life, know that there's going to come responsibility and there's going to come a certain amount of work before you achieve that certain goal that you want to achieve, right? Early faith is simple. You want to be faithful in something, you want to trust God, boom, let's go ahead and start today. You start today, 2 weeks later, something might happen and you don't feel the same way. Now the emotions, the motivation, all the early onset things that are supposed to happen, they have gone away. They were blown away like the wind. You didn't expect it. But know that at the same time, mature faith, though, is trust without explanation. You don't always have to ask God why you're going through something. You just know that you are going through that season. You are going through that trial, that tribulation, that challenge. And you know that it's for the good of you. You know that that's for the plan. You know that that was in your path because there's no other way that it would have happened unless God allowed it, right? God gives people weight to people he trusts. So if you are carrying a load, right, not a self-inflicted load now, I'm talking about a load that God is giving you, something that you didn't ask for. But you now have to learn how to get through it. You now have to learn how to carry it. You now have to train yourself to carry that heavier weight. Know that God has trusted you with something that you feel like you're not ready for, but you will grow into. So when you grow into it, you will become that individual. God isn't worried about what you have. God isn't worried about what you're going to get. God doesn't care about what you receive. God cares about who you are becoming. In the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 48, it says, "But the one who does not know and does things deserving punishment will be beaten with few blows. From everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked." So that last part, much more will be asked. If you're entrusted with a lot, then you are going to have to do more work, more responsibility than probably what you are entrusted with. Because it's not just you getting it, but it's you keeping it. Be mindful. It's not just you getting it, but it's about you keeping it. So you are telling God that you want something, but then you remember you have to ask God, how do I keep it? I also want this to be a long-term investment. I want this to be longevity, not just let me just get it and then I lose it in a year or I lose it in 6 months. No, I want to have it the rest of my life. I want to have it for 30 years. I want to have it for 20 years. I want to have it for my kids. I want to do these things. I want to have the wealth. I want to have the business. I want to have the opportunities. I want to have the genetics, the DNA, whatever the case may be, man. You have been assigned to something. But you have to know that is not punishment. When you are assigned, you have an assignment to do something, you know that there is a due date. God doesn't give you the due date though. God tells you just to keep working on it until you know when the due date is, until opportunity meets qualifications, until opportunity meets preparation. You are continuing to work. You are continuing to do the assignment over and over again. And as God keeps giving it back to you, you're learning a little bit more. Yeah, you got this right, but then you still got to work on this. You got this right, but you still got to work on this. So you're continuing to get a retest. As people remember that in school, you continue to get a retest until you get it right. Yes, when we were in school, you got one chance. But God, He's outside of time. He's all-knowing. He's almighty. And He's graceful and merciful. And He continues to give us chance after chance after chance. Because if faith is just feeling heavier right now, it may be because you're ready for more. You just have to see that you're ready for more. You just have to trust God that you're ready for more and go forward. Be obedient and move forward with it. Heavier faith doesn't mean harder faith. It just means deeper faith. Shouldn't get harder for you to keep faith. You should want to go into it deeper. If it's becoming harder for you to have faith, then you are carrying too much on your own. You have to be able to control the controllables, and everything else that's outside of the controllables, let God have it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress on it. Don't fret on it. Don't even consist with your thoughts on it. Because you're going to lose sleep, you're going to lose peace, and you're not going to know what to eat if you continue to worry about the things that you don't have to worry about. So if your faith is feeling heavy right now, get deeper in it. Don't think that it is something wrong. Know that something is right. You just got to keep working. But I appreciate y'all for tapping in with me on this one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, bro. Thank you for supporting the channel, supporting the videos, man. Please make sure you are subscribing and commenting and liking the videos, bro. Once again, and I hope y'all catch me on the next one.